I do think that Canadians should be working on if we're going to be known as the nice guys, I think we need to remember that. I think we need to carry ourselves that way in conversation. Times are hard. If we are the light, then let's go back to whatever those roots are. I think right now we've all got spicy. We're off our, I don't know, we just don't feel a centered, balanced, whatever, and we're not carrying ourselves as we should be.
Just know, if you guys ever want a long-term place, Fiji is known as the nicest place in the world.
The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist, 'cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Mediocre Dentist. This is part 2 episode. I am your American host, Dr. David Gallagher.
And I am your slightly more awesome Canadian co-host, Dr. Andrea.
And this is part 2, USA versus Canada. USA, 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 USA.
Whatever. You're so loud.
So,
and obnoxious.
I think the word that you're looking for is winner.
You won a game. You don't win at life.
And life.
And life?
And economy.
As per what you're told anyway.
So part 1 was kind of our nice version of USA, Canada.
Isms.
The things that are different. Fahrenheit. We didn't even talk about Fahrenheit, Celsius.
Yeah, that is a tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
The conversion
I actually have to have
clean.
an app on my phone to talk to you.
I know. We kind of are understanding what like 70 feels like versus.
You wouldn't think that it's so hard. We're just a few miles away from each other, and yet we're different cultures.
How many kilometers?
How many kilometers, indeed.
It's complicated.
So in the first, for those who didn't watch it, go back and watch that episode. If you didn't, big difference. Obviously, we are 10 times the size of population, but you are bigger mass land size.
Yeah. Much bigger.
Use Fahrenheit, you use Celsius. We have the correct spellings of words like composite. You say composite, that's wrong. Our Kit Kats taste better.
We add the U's.
Most of our food tastes better.
We had the U's to the O's.
Yep. We talked about the hockey showdown. That's all recap of. Now let's talk about 3 differences that I put down.
Only 3.
3 major ones that I really want to get into that are pretty obvious. Let's go right at it. Healthcare.
Ooh.
Grandma, Booby Rosie.
This is evolved.
David's grandmother.
This is facts.
Married a Canadian in the 90s.
Using him for the healthcare system.
Literally, because he didn't look like much.
Yeah, no.
Sam was not a looker. He kind of looked like an egg.
She's a smart
woman. It was a second marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, I don't see it, Grandma.
And usually it's like first time, is it first time for money, second time for love?
I don't know. This is actually my grandma's 3rd marriage, to be honest.
Shit.
If I'm going to be clear. She didn't like to be alone.
Jesus.
I think my grandfather died in 70, and 2 years later, she was hitched. That guy died 2 years later. Another one.
Bing, bang, boom.
Grandma Booby didn't
mess around.
She survived Holocaust, so she had survivor skills.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, we need a man in this. We need a man in this house. And when she met Sam, she's like, God damn, free healthcare.
Yeah.
Boom. She picked up, moved to Canada, and she wouldn't come visit us anymore. We had to go visit her because she would not leave. She'd lose her healthcare.
Yeah, no.
So my image coming into our relationship was like, ooh, free healthcare.
Maybe.
I like it. Because since Obamacare, I'm paying about $3,000 a month, $3,200 a month.
Yeah, it's no joke. Yeah, that's a no joke situation. And I do remember when we first started dating, I would brag. I'd be like, we've got it made in the shade. Like that was a source of pride for Canadians.
Yeah.
As
time
has gone on,
your healthcare
we've
stinks.
become a third world country. You cannot get, antibiotics sometimes or certain medications. Finding a GP. It took me 3 years. There was 3 years I could not
get a doctor to accept her, Sean.
As a patient, I had to almost like jump in on my grannies, and beg.
Your hygienist got you in. I called in a favor.
Even when I was first looking for one in Port Moody, which is where one of my practices is, I remember having to be pregnant with Arshawn to be like, I have a kid coming into this world. Somebody's gonna have to look after us. And only under those circumstances would they get me in.
Doctors in Canada don't want to work. I had a gallbladder incident.
Yes.
Within a week, I'm on an operating table. It could have been the same day if I wanted to.
100%.
Your mother, my mother-in-law.
Yep.
she had a gallbladder. They were like, cool, we'll book you in
and
6 to 10 months.
You could get bumped day of. It happens. It's expected. Like, it's a wild system. Going to like the ER, or if something emergent happens to you, God help you. People have been known to like die in emergency, be out in hallways, not even be able to get a room. Like, it's expected that you're going to be waiting there 6 to 10 hours just to be seen. Like, it's wild.
The Canadian doctors don't want to work.
We don't have enough of them. We do not have enough nurses. They are overworked. I totally get that.
When doctors don't get to bill and they don't get to earn and they don't get to make money for seeing a lot of patients, they're like, I'll go home at 4.
Yeah.
They get the same salary whether they go home at 4 or go home at 8.
Yeah.
Might as well go home at 4.
Yeah.
A couple of crazies, like I've been visiting doctors. We had an episode called Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes.
Yes.
Anytime you're fascinated, I just decided I wanted to go to a urologist, get a checkup, check how the pipes are doing.
Going tomorrow.
I Googled one, Sean, found one in Summerlin, called up, made an appointment tomorrow. That is a foreign concept for you.
To the point where I was like, I want to try this whole American thing.
We could just call Sean. We could just call doctors.
No.
And then go.
You know what happened to me? What happened to me yesterday? We're at the airport, and what did I remember that I had forgotten?
Remind me.
My precious.
What's it called?
You know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
All I talk about this season because it is my precious.
No idea.
Progesterone. Is it how many times what are you doing?
Nothing. Okay.
What's happening?
So how can you get progesterone?
What did you ping for?
Nothing. What progesterone are you talking about?
Are you going to ping again? Is it every time I say the P word?
What?
Progesterone? Are you keeping track?
You see, if you'd watched the podcast,
I don't.
You would know that for the last half a season, every time you say the word progesterone, which is very often, Sean and I have a counter going on YouTube.
What's it at? Oh my God, actually?
Yeah.
What is it at? It's got to be at 1,000.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay. Well, anyways, I forgot my progesterone. Okay. You don't have to do it. Just let it happen on YouTube. I can't believe she knows about it now, Sean. I'm sorry. She asked directly. You gave it away. Who fucking? I thought you had a tick. Okay. I forgot, and to the point where I was going to drive back home to get it, and potentially. You do too, because I burn up at night. So you experienced it. You don't like that.
I don't like you hot. I don't like you hot.
So if I take the progesterone, then I'm not hot. Oh. I was trying to help you.
Yeah, I like that.
Anyways, now I forget the story.
Because
I haven't been having my progesterone, so I'm back to brain
But if you wanted I could call a doctor here and you could go tomorrow.
I could have got it today.
And they would just be like, hey, doctor, I need progesterone. And they're like, cool, do you want some weed too? And they'd be like, cool,
I'm a proud Canadian, so I will accept my mediocre healthcare and I will suffer without my progesterone.
It's crazy. I hear the healthcare in Canada is insane and you guys aren't even talking about it.
I think, no, we're talking about it.
Okay. Sean, your kids go to the pediatrician? My kids go literally every 6 months. My kids go 4 to 5 times a year. Sniffle, a cold, a fever, a sore throat, take a strep test, take a flu test. They go get 2 checkups a year, every year for Moshe's 23 years old. The Canadian children, Arshawn, Aaron, Aria, have never been to a pediatrician.
That's not true. Not that they never have, because Aria was a NICU baby, so she did have a pediatrician back in the
last 4 years, have they ever been to a pediatrician?
Not once.
5 years. No. 10. I was like, what if the kids get sick? And she's like, I don't know, we'll just look at them.
Oh my God. We go to ER. We go to the ER. And then we wait in line.
And Ari was in
Remember
ER last
Ari?
year.
I know. And she was barfing her.
If you had a pediatrician, the pediatrician would be like, take some ice, like, do this, then come over. It's crazy. You don't have doctors.
She barfed and they gave her a thing to barf into for like 10 hours before.
You had COVID at one point, and at one point during the night, you had like 104 fever.
No, I don't know if it was COVID, but I had something.
You had 103. I came home from America, and you were at 103. Nobody to call. No doctor.
It's also pretty crazy. In Vegas, they have a good amount of urgent centers.
They do.
Urgent care centers, yeah.
And they literally have their wait times, and it says like 1 minute.
I know. I saw that, and I was like, Jesus, why can't
In
I have
Canada,
a
they would have a
fever
sign
down
that said 1
here?
year,
What would it cost me to go?
2 year.
No, it's no joke. You want to get a surgery? Like if you're looking to get your hip replaced, imagine you were in debilitating pain. You cannot walk properly. You could wait upwards of a couple of years to get that hip replacement. That's just expected. Unless you can afford to go down to the States or something like that. So that has been an interesting flipperoo, because I used to say that was 1 point Canada. And
it's not even like we don't even have to debate it. I'm actually sad for Canadians.
I've been
really bad.
I've been looking into how I can get onto your medical insurance. But
I would love to have you on
I
medical
can't.
insurance.
I can't. It would seem.
Next topic
It's
I
a
put
big
down,
one. Yeah.
economy.
Oy. This one's so interesting though, because depending on who you ask and what side of the aisle they're from, they're going to give you a different.
So we're just going to go with Google.
We're going to go with Google? Okay.
The U.S. economy is currently performing better than the Canadian one.
Yes.
Just the dollar alone will tell you.
Oh, the
U.S. dollar.
But there's 10 times.
$1 U.S. is equal to 1.40 Canadian. It's almost at an all-time high.
Yes.
So that means that the Canadian dollar is weak.
Yes.
Personally, I can attest to when I used to do investments. I do investments for dentists.
Yes.
We had a company called Backed by Dentists.
Yes.
To get it, people invest in the
Have.
toothpaste.
Yeah.
We have them. To get the Canadians to invest, there were so many hoops.
I know.
And so many things to jump to. Most of the Canadians were like, I was at on two of the investments. I'm like, it just doesn't pay for me to include you.
Yeah.
You cannot buy this lottery ticket to invest in me. Your government prevents you
From being able to.
capitalism. Wow. Crazy.
Well, we are socialistic.
I got some actual statistics. The unit economy is
Oh.
currently performing better than the Canadians one. Stronger GDP, lower unemployment, higher productivity. So
you have
we
lower
are
unemployment. Yeah, I would say ours is around 6, like across the board, right? 6 point something.
So we're 2 points less than you. That's a big difference.
It's a massive difference.
The U.S. is outpacing economic growth fast. Now, here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Let's go by GDP. That stands for Gross
GDP.
Domestic Product. It's how basically people say whether your economy is growing or not. We are growing really, really well.
I think you were at like 33 trillion.
Something like that. 30.
And we're like,
I don't have that number. I had that number. I lost it.
I think ours was like 1 to 3.
Here's crazy GDP stats. 2022 growth. We're still growing. Neither one shrunk.
No, but
neither one is negative.
Like how much is it
when you're
growing?
negative, you're recession.
Yes.
So in 2022, your economy grew by 4.2%. We grew by 2.5%.
That was 2022.
You were kicking our ass, basically double. 2023, we jumped to 2.8. You went down to 1.5.
That's staggering. I think Canadians are fake.
Ooh.
This
is gonna be good. Get on your soapbox, sister.
I will
Let's
get
hear
on
this
my
one.
soapbox. I will preface this with I am a proud Canadian. I think I live in the most beautiful country in the world, bar none. From a nature standpoint, what we have to offer, it is an exquisite place to live. And so my allegiance is to Canadians. Having said that, this past few years specifically, and watching from the Trump derangement syndrome to people, the cruel people, like one of my university professors, like, celebrating someone saying, oh, we just missed by 1 inch or whatever, alluding to the fact that, Trump was almost taken out and being happy about that, exercising the ability from, their cushy little home to have stances about whether it's Trump, whether it's talking about Palestine, things that they don't even know much about, and getting on their soapboxes and in really aggressive, mean ways. It's just been very interesting. That we want to talk about other things like MAID. Like there's just a lot of things that are in place right now, and there's a lot of ways in which Canadians are acting both at the big and small level that is very concerning to me. And I don't see the same things happening in the States. And yeah, so this is an interesting time for me.
Yeah, I want to follow up on 2 things that you said.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the economy first. So let's talk about what happened. So Trump comes in and he says there are going to be tariffs all over the place. It wasn't just versus Canada.
Yeah.
It was versus every country.
It was across. Yeah.
Why? Because he's a businessman. And he saw, we've always had an inequality in importing, exporting. And he's like, there's no reason why we don't need their stuff. We should put tariffs on it. It's a business move. It's not personal. It's a business
And
move.
America first is
And
like the sentiment.
Why should we be losing economy? Like, our economy should be good. If you want us to drive your cars, use your stuff, you're going to pay a tariff. Most countries tariff our stuff going in,
Yes.
and we don't tariff their stuff coming out. So he's like, we're going to level the playing field.
Yeah.
The Canadians took it so personally. Instead of negotiating, instead of work, every country negotiated with him, and they got it to something. The Canadians took it so personally. You mentioned it a few times in part one.
Yeah.
But in Canada, when this tariff thing came out, instead of negotiating, instead of saying, let's work it out, let's talk about it, they adopted this policy called elbows up. Mm-hmm. Tell us what elbows up is.
It's just like, I don't even know how to explain it fully, but it's just like, screw you, America. We're elbows up. Like, I think
elbows
it's a hockey reference.
It's a hockey thing. Like, Sean, you're walking through and you're like, elbow up.
That's our
punch
thing,
him in the
right?
face.
Yeah.
So
that we're going to strike back. I think we
you're
were
gonna
just trying to
strike
show
back. So they strike
our
back.
strength. Okay, we became more patriotic. It was a cute thing for a minute.
Here's what it said.
Yeah.
This is from Google.
Yeah.
The boycott.
Yes.
So Canadians go elbow up. We're no longer buying American products.
Yeah. They stopped buying like orange
not
juice,
buying American
everything.
products. We're not shelving American products. We're not doing American products, which was a playbook from the 80s when the U.S. had a trade war with Japan, and they were like, buy American made, which actually won. America won, and Japan went into a crazy recession. But it was just an economic thing. It was like, just support your own country. The Canada one was just to show us, just to punish us.
Let's just stick it to you. Even my daughter, by one of her classmates, my daughter likes fishy crackers. I did not know they were made in America.
Yes.
My daughter brought them to school. One of the girls in her class chastised her and said, you must love Trump if you're going to eat those fishy crackers. And I was like, you know what? It took every part of me not to go in there and be like, you know what? Lay off. This is so childish. It is so unbecoming. I am all for Canadian pride. It's nice to see the Canadian flags up. I would love for there to be an authentic source of Canadian pride. I hate that it got backed and started on this very infantile movement. I'm not saying that Trump's hard. Like, Trump makes it hard to.
Okay, he's
the way he's ineloquent.
It's a tariff war. We're separate countries. It's a business move. That's it. Negotiate like every other country did.
Exactly.
They went elbows up. Here's what happened. Here's what happened.
We got.
So imagine, Sean, I'm like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in Vancouver. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm in New York. Yeah. Everyone in Vancouver is like, we're not doing any American products. We stopped drinking Coors Light. We're not using Heinz ketchup. And
literally
we're not
no American alcohol.
Everything's going. I heard Heinz is going bankrupt. Then I fly back to New York and I'm like, anybody hear anything about Heinz? They're like, yeah, it's fine. Public stock. We hear anything about Coors Light? Yeah, they just posted record numbers. Like, nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Here's what did happen. Because Canada stopped using American products and stopped importing them, their GDP shrunk by 2.6%, $78 billion. The cost of living in Canada went up.
No shit.
$1,900 per Canadian.
I'm living that hell.
You cannot get orange juice and certain orange juice, Jim Beam, alcohol went up, and wine. Like, those three things, now Canadians pay an incredible amount because they're trying to boycott to teach America a lesson, punish their own citizens for no reason. Our economy is humming.
I mean, I'm even starting
Stock
to know.
Market's up.
I know. Well, whatever it is. I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask. Because even when I speak to some Americans, really like get into Facebook debates, you name it. Depending on what side of the aisle you're on, some people will say America's still trash right now. So whatever.
You can say it's trash. I'm just going. Stock market's up. S&P's up. Dollar strong. 70. How about this one? Listen to this one.
From you.
78% of Canadians reported that the trade war and boycott reduced the affordability of goods.
Yeah, of course. Not 78%, 100%.
So what do you
and what else does it do? Who are we now getting into bed with?
China.
Communist China, human rights violations, China. And these same people who want to stick it to Trump, you think he's bad? You think ICE is naughty? Fuck me what they're doing to millions of marginalized populations. Millions of people.
So healthcare.
Yes.
Economy.
Healthcare, economy. Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about the liberalism that's going on right now in Canada. See, in the U.S., we have liberal and we have conservative, and they hate each other.
Yeah.
And they're going at each other. Fox is one way, CNN's the other way. Republicans are one way, Democrats are the other way. Charlie Kirk is one thing, Candace Owens the other one.
Tucker.
Tucker. Okay, so you have two conflicting people. There's a strong right-wing contingent and there's a strong left-wing contingent.
Yes.
And they hate each other.
Yep.
And they are coming at each other at levels I've never seen before.
No,
I used to get worried about it, and then I remember that Alexander Hamilton was killed in a duel, so can't be as bad as it used to be. I guess they used to shoot each other. At least we don't shoot each other.
What happened to Charlie? Come on. Don't say that they don't. Yeah,
still
we
shoot each other.
do.
But there aren't duels anymore. That had to be the low point.
Well, now it's a little more shady. You're out there talking about
Canada, you don't hear much about the Conservative Party.
So interesting story, because it recently came out, as I think yesterday. CBC, that's like the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. That is where, like, mainstream media extraordinaire in Canada, someone who formerly worked for them and alleges to be fired because he was not happy with the bias that there was in keeping conservative voices off the news and off of reporting. When was
the last time the Conservative Party was in power in Canada?
It's been a minute, because I think there was 11 years of Trudeau, and how many, I don't know.
Who's before Trudeau?
I want to. Wasn't that Harper? I think it was Harper.
Well, I remember
Harper,
Brian Mulroney. I once met him.
That was way back in.
Yeah, he was at an Expos game. I met him.
Okay, cool.
He said, "Hey, kid."
He said, "Hey, kid." Okay.
He said, "Hey, kid."
Another beautiful Canadian moment for you.
Yeah. And my dad was like, "That's the Prime Minister." I'm like, "Why isn't there bodyguards around?" And they're like, "I don't know." Like, that's the Prime Minister of Canada sitting right there. I was like, "Hello." He's like, "Hey, kid." I think I might have an autographed baseball from him.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's fun trivia. It's cute.
But I feel like your version of the Republicans haven't been in power.
Well, we
for
don't
a
have
very long
our
time.
version. Yeah.
But you do have a version of the Republicans.
We have.
They're called. You just call it conservative and liberal.
Yes. Well, conservatives, liberal. We have NDP. Those are like the three main parties.
What's NDP?
New Democratic Party.
What do they?
So they're more like, if liberals are in the center, conservatives we're going right, and then NDP is further to the left.
So they're the crazy.
They're like socialists. Like, imagine Canada does identify, or most people see us as a socialistic kind of country. I grew up.
I think the policies. Let's talk about. You mentioned.
Well, look what they're doing. Like, even with the China thing.
Okay,
like,
let's talk
freedom
about.
Of speech. We're about to pass a bill that's
you
going down the same.
You middle talk 3 times about MAID.
About MAID. I middle talk.
So the liberals are in charge in Canada. In the U.S., it's gone back and forth.
And it's getting.
We've gone Republic, Democrat, Republic, Democrat the last 4 elections.
I don't know. Does this happen for you guys where people cross the aisle? Like, I guess people go independent sometimes, but it's pretty rare. So we've had 2 major jumps recently. One from NDP, one from the Conservatives, that went from their party to the Liberals. So now they are sneaking up on a majority.
The Liberals are in charge of your country. Now, there is some benefit to liberalism. Without liberalism, I just want to context.
Yes,
without liberalism
doesn't
we don't
mean
get rid of
what it
slaves. Women don't vote. Like, Jews can't go to the country club. So liberalism, Jews traditionally are extremely democratic, because the Democratic Party liberalism traditionally was breaking down barriers. But that has 100%. Gone off the rails, in my opinion.
It's gone wild.
In Canada. Let's talk about...
I think in the States too.
But at least there's a counterbalance in the States. In Canada, there's no counterbalance, or at least like there feels. I'm going to throw out words. You tell me what you think. MAID. Explain to people what MAID means.
Medically assisted dying. So
explain what it means to the audience.
What it means? It means that what started as something that was to be offered to people who had terminal situations. So you have cancer, you're suffering, that you could get permission from a physician to end your life, and they help you.
Right, that was
in that transition. Now it's not terminal, but you really struggle, and you get permission from, I think it's 1 to 3 physicians, and you can end your life. More recently, I think there was someone who was like 25 and had bipolar, and was able to kill themselves or have medically assisted suicide or death. And it's becoming a slippery slope. There's like the doctor death.
Super liberal.
There's a lot of really interesting things. I really do believe the term that best suits, I don't think it's just Canada, but North American or the West ideology, is this suicidal empathy. I think we're in Canadians specifically, we identify as kind and caring. I think the intention is good. I think we feel bad for things done in the past, But I'm not sure why we have to over every other country that's ever been conquered, or what have you. It seems it's an interesting stance, and it feels very woke and not well thought through, and it's definitely not something that's getting people's input or our thoughts on it. So it feels very scary, like we're losing a lot of control.
I think the liberalism, both internally and on the international stage, does not have a proper check and balance in Canada.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And in America, our best situation is where the executive, the president, is one party, and Congress is the other party.
Is the other, to keep it.
It just cancels everybody out. Okay, when it happened with Trump the first time, they impeached him 4 times, but he's like, okay, whatever. But he couldn't just act unilaterally. It's dangerous in any when both of them are under one, and then you're appointing judges. So, you get the judicial under it.
Imagine, just to come back to what I was talking about before with the CBC, imagine in Canada, if there is, like, the way that information is disseminated, you already have, like, Liberal majority in power. In addition to that, you have your major dissemination of information is only allowing liberal rhetoric.
So the media is liberal, and the government's
and
liberal.
And it's government run.
And
so
you don't have any media that's conservative in Canada.
You not to any impressive.
Like, we don't have a Fox News.
There is nothing that's really the equivalent.
Newsroom. Remember that kid that we used to know who worked for that news channel that's just crazy conservative.
Yes, exactly. We do not really have the equivalent. So, and I'm not saying, like, I don't even know what I am anymore because I don't seem to fit into any of them. I'm like an item by item person. I think you are the same.
Yeah, I look at the issue and I decide what I want to do.
Depending on, own life experience, and we try to be critical about it.
I'm pro-abortion, but I also don't want taxes.
Those are hot ones.
Those are conflicting things. Those are conflicting concepts.
They really are.
Absolutely pro-abortion, women's body letter. Don't bring children.
You're not pro. You're pro women's rights, and that is an admirable thing. I don't think that men.
I think a woman has a pregnancy she doesn't want. It doesn't work. It's inconvenient.
Or there's rape. There's a variety of things.
There's 1,000 reasons she should be able to be like, let's not bring children into the world who don't belong. Yep. But at the same time, I'm like, stop raising my taxes. Yeah. I do not want my taxes spent on wasted government programs. So I'm on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. I am in favor of international. America should lead the way morality-wise. We should intervene on people's behalves.
There's a lot of moral conundrums.
So we got economy, we got healthcare, we got liberal.
Yep.
Let's end the show with a last hot button topic for both of us.
Okay. I'm almost afraid.
Most of our other episodes are super funny, by the way.
I don't know if we're gonna have any listeners after this.
How many?
If you're racist,
wouldn't it be funny if we did it live and we saw Instagram followers going down?
Yeah, they're like, fuck these two.
I know Chris Anton love us, but we said I wrote down 4 topics: economy, healthcare, liberalism, and just balance. It doesn't. Canada doesn't have a balance. Last topic, which you have referenced a few times: Americans rude, loud; Canadians kind, nice. That is the perception. I want to hit the bullshit button on that. Canadians are not nice. They're not in general. I'm not going to, obviously, we're not generalizing, but I'm just going to give you a specific example.
Yes. Okay.
I just said Canadians are not nice. That's a pretty generalization. I would say there are examples out there where it doesn't seem like the Canadians are very nice.
We're not trending. Yeah. Okay.
The Aboriginals. That didn't go well. Americans don't really hate Canadians or have a strong opinion about them at all. Like, Sean would be like, do you hate Canadians? You'd be like, no, whatever. That's cute. I'm always like Canadian. I got a friend. I got this. I got that. But when you say Americans to Canadians, the last 24 months, man, they hate Americans. Like, they're angry about Americans.
I don't know. Some are able to say that they just...
You constantly introduce me as your American husband, and people go,
no,
he's American. Like, what? Can you imagine I would say, hey, this is my wife. She's Canadian. And my friends would go, like, there is a brimming anger towards Americans in Canada. To all Americans. I don't feel like we're doing that to you.
I agree. When I was younger, when I was 16, and it was a source of pride to put your Canadian flag onto your backpack. And Americans couldn't because, and I even remember being in Italy, and you could tell if a Canadian and an American was in a store, because the Europeans would be like, oh, and I'd be like, oh yeah, yes, or you hear that they're saying I'm from New York or whatever. The way that they treat the people around them it was generally less kind. I do think generally, especially back when I was 16, so that it's been a minute since those days, but I do think that Canadians conducted themselves, at least at the superficial level, we behaved more polite. Americans, much more brash, like louder. There was just a lot more to the persona, and you didn't really give a shit. I think Sean's right. I don't think you have any fucks to give about what anybody else thinks, because you're like, we're number one, you're just jealous. The rest of us were like, you're kind of dicks. And you think you're the best, but there's a pompousness that came with it. Now, none of us knows what it is like to be the best, the biggest military power in the world or any of those things. So I guess we have to, come at you for something.
But I think there's an anger in Canadians about Americans, and then
that's new. That's the past couple of years, yes. But that's been brought on by the
last 24 months.
Yep.
Jewish Canadians were the most targeted religious group in 2024.
Yeah, 2 synagogues shut up this past week.
In 2023, there were 6,219 anti-Semitic incidents in Canada. It has actually gotten worse since then, and it is up 124%.
I've heard higher than that.
There are approximately 17 anti-Semitic against Jewish people in Canada a day, which is funny because my grandparents, who survived the Holocaust in Europe, used to say, when shit gets real, we're going to Canada. That is like ingrained in every Jewish person's who grew up in the 70s and 80s and 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s. Shit gets really bad, we'll make a run for Canada. And The Handmaid's Tale,
that's where they went.
They go to Canada. Like everybody always says, when things get bad, when people turn on each other, when there's this, we'll go to Canada. Safe in Canada. You won't get persecuted in Canada. You won't get discriminated in Canada. And the Canadian anti-Semitic thing is out of control. You were the victim of an anti-Semitic. Why don't you just talk about that?
No, I know. Well, that was when I was going through my conversion class. It was like one of the second class or something like that. And it was right after October 7th. And we were leaving the class on a Thursday night, went up to a stop sign. This weird male.
Canadian.
Stepped in front of our car, faced us with the most sinister look. Like I've never been looked at that way before. And then he gave us 2 Hail Hitlers. And we ended up getting him arrested for the hate crime. And because he had been running amok around our synagogue for a period of time. But yeah, I mean, I had never experienced anything like that before. I probably would have thought that it was maybe exaggerated or nothing like what it actually is, but it has become awful. You hear it all over the, not necessarily over the news in Canada, because I feel like they like to sweep that one under the rug.
Which we talked about in terms of the Canadian media being liberal and just not playing in torrents to this. But
but real life people who are experiencing these things, us included, we know the reality.
In July 2025, there were 781 anti-Semitic incidents in Ontario schools.
Yeah.
781 in 1 month.
I don't doubt it.
No, sorry, that's from October to January. Sorry, that's in 6 months.
October to January is 6 months?
October, November, December. 4 months? Yeah, it says from October. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. 781 anti-Semitic incidents in Ontario schools between October 2023 and January 2025, over a 2-year period.
Okay.
781, almost one a day.
Yep.
In British Columbia, 2025, community survey by the Jewish Federation of Greater Vancouver, which we know the rabbi of that, 62% of the Jewish community members in BC had experienced at least one anti-Semitic incident. 93% felt less secure in democratic, safe, free British Columbia.
Yeah.
We don't feel safe.
No, I don't. Yeah.
We know students on the University of Toronto, McGill, are harassed daily just because they're Jewish.
Yeah.
Affiliation, what they feel about Israel, whatever. it's wild that a democratic Western country can now face this. Europe, we see, is completely gone.
Yeah.
But it's hard to just come full circle. It's hard to go like, oh, we're kind and caring. And I'm like, this whole country is you won't even let us put our Hanukkah menorah out.
Okay, but can I add a layer of complexity to that?
Yes.
I think what Canadians are trying to do, I don't think that the higher up people in government are trying to be anti-Semitic in words that they use, how they discuss things. I think what they're trying to do in their own mind is to be equal across the border, regardless of who's at fault. They don't want to offend anybody. You want to come off as very tolerant and very kind to all groups, all minorities. And in doing so, I think you really do a disservice to the people that are being targeted more often than others. And it's not fair to be, or it's not appropriate even to be fair across the board.
And those activities happened when the war started?
No, it's just going on right now. There were 2 synagogues in Toronto that were shot this weekend.
Since October 7th.
This is in the last two days.
Yeah.
There are 2 synagogues that have been attacked. But you can't consider yourself a kind and caring personality, and our culture is kind and caring and accepting when there are 17 anti-Semitic incidents in your caring culture. Now, what triggered the people is a different story. It's going on all over the world, no doubt. Yeah. But there are more anti-Semitic incidents in Canada than there are in the U.S., percentage-wise, based on population. We do not, like, you won't let us put up, I wanted to put up, for Hanukkah, I wanted to put up one of those things, like those flowy thingamajigs in front of our house. I wanted to decorate, and you won't allow it.
No.
And your mom, we lit Hanukkah candles, which is a very overtly Jewish symbol.
Yeah.
And as soon as you left town, your mom was like,
"We're closing.
Candles go. We're not looking for trouble."
Yeah. Listen, we're in inflammatory times. We're in polarized times.
Yeah.
We can agree or disagree on the ideology of it. Whether like some people like China's influenced all of this through TikTok, and they want to divide us, and they've incorporated woke ideology to make us furious with one another. If that's the case, mission accomplished.
I just always thought shit hits the fan, anti-Semitism. Obviously, I'm very, very overtly Jewish and have strong Jewish identity. I always thought shit hits the fan, first stop Canada, second stop Israel.
Yeah.
And now I'm 48 years old, and I'm like, I don't think we have a long-term play if we're going to be overtly Jewish. Like, obviously we live in Canada, but like we have to have at least a thinking about, hey, I don't know that we're safe here, or that we should be more careful in Canada than we should in the US.
I hear what you're saying, and I also hear what Sean is saying. I think that there's something to be said for not allowing that the fear to win and or to propagate it. I think that you're right. You do have a voice. You have a big voice in dentistry, and you have a lot of people under your scope.
Every Instagram post I do has an anti-Semitic many Instagram posts that I make just about dentistry or funny stuff has trolls who send anti-Semitic slurs my way.
That's part of the game. But then you have to, you just need to wash whatever. Sometimes it's bot, sometimes it's just angry. Exactly.
Crazy. I think the difference is that we have a history of 5,000 years of persecution, and we go, hey, time to leave this country, time to leave that country, you did Jewish history, you know how many times this has happened, and you know how careful
things go
you have to
cyclically
be.
Through
We're
history.
in Spain, gotta leave Spain. We're in France, gotta leave Spain. We're in Poland, Hungary, Eastern Europe, Russia, time to go.
I don't think anybody thought that this that these sentiments would resurface so soon. After the
I'm not saying U.S. is immune to anti-Semitic. There was an anti-Semitic attack in San Jose, California yesterday. But I just want to say that in our U.S.-Canada angle, we're more concerned about our Jewishness in Canada than we are in U.S.
Okay, fine.
Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I just don't want to end on that. I don't think that that's the thing that either defines who or what we are. But I do think that Canadians should be working on if we're going to be known as the nice guys, I think we need to remember that. I think we need to carry ourselves that way in conversation. Times are hard. If we are the light, then let's go back to whatever those roots are. I think right now we've all got spicy. We're off our, I don't know, we just don't feel a centered, balanced, whatever, and we're not carrying ourselves as we should be.
Just know, if you guys ever want a long-term place, nicest place in the world. All right.
That's where we need to go.
Is the Maldives the same as Fiji?
No.
Or are those different?
Oh my God. You you ignorant American. The actual fuck.
Hit the what the fuck.
What the fuck?
Hit the what the fuck.
What the fuck? Is that Ugly Andrea?
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Ooh. What the fuck?
Which one is which one's the what the fuck? Oh fuck. Oh good lord. Really?
I mix up.
Can you
I
please
mix
put
up
up a
Fiji and
world
the
map?
Maldives.
Right now it says South Africa, Fiji, Canada, Mexico, and Nepal are the nicest.
South Africa.
South Africa's
This is the most fucked up. Okay.
South
everything,
Africa's the nicest.
They're fucked and
no, I don't think so.
This is a weird quote.
Google
the robots?
Google AI robots are from South Africa
Wow,
because
wow,
that's
wow,
the
wow.
dumbest thing I ever heard.
They're-
We can all agree we hate South Africans.
Oh, what? That is
Thanks,
not.
everybody.
Oh my God.
That's a good way to end the show. Is that a better way to end the show?
It's better. Yeah. Oh my Lord.
They were terrible
Oh,
people.
it's been a nice
South
run,
Africans,
guys.
terrible
It was a
people.
great run.
Their whites
we
were terrible,
almost
and now
got
the
up to
blacks-
1,500.
That's good. All right. Well,
Followers.
that is our spicy show, USA versus Canada, part 2. We are not just pretty faces and funny people. We have real opinions, arrogant opinions, and misguided opinions. And we love you, and you're our fans. And this had nothing to do with dental. And that's okay, because we're mediocre dentists, so why would we
And
talk about
humans.
it? Mediocre humans. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.